Davos. This week has been Davos, and last night I stayed up watching them talking about peace and safety being restored. On and on it goes. But let's just see this quick overview really quick.
The global elite are gathering at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. It's the annual meeting's first winter event in 3 years, and the ski town attracts CEOs, billionaires, and celebrities for a week of discussions on income inequality, climate change, and so much more. Now, this year's theme, cooperation in a fragmented world. But the event does often draw criticism for attracting the ultra-rich who pontificate about global issues without really committing to fixing them.
Your inaction is fueling the flames by the hour.
Show me the money. Talk is cheap. It turns out that nobody is as generous with their actual dollars as they are with their pledges in their press release.
We can talk for a very long time about all these stupid philanthropy schemes. We can invite Bono once more, but come on, we gotta be talking about taxes.
Yes.
That's it, taxes, taxes, taxes. All the rest is, in my opinion.
One area where we might see some movement is on the breakdown of panels. During the last World Economic Forum, a third of the panels were devoted specifically to ESG, and the use of words like environmentalism in those Davos press releases has actually tripled since 2014. Sometimes who's not there is more interesting than who is. Former President Donald Trump is not attending, nor is current President Joe Biden. And embattled crypto entrepreneur SBF is obviously out, but there will be plenty of panels on the future of digital currency. So follow a quick take on all social platforms to get our updates on the World Economic Forum on the ground in Davos.
So Jan, what are the top 5 things you see coming out of Davos this year?
What these people are planning as we speak in Davos this whole week, it's so stunning, it's almost unthinkable. They are planning to implement, they don't know it, Revelation 13. One world government, probably a one world money system. It'll be central bank digital currency, where every purchase will be tracked. Everything you buy a pack of gum, the government will know. This is being planned at Davos. You briefly referenced one of the themes, I believe it was either yesterday or today, is peace and security or peace and safety. Right out of 1 Thessalonians 5. A sudden destruction will come. They'll say peace and safety, and sudden destruction shall come. They're discussing how they can best control us. They're going to try to, coming next are climate lockdowns. I want Brandon to address it, but that's what's coming next, climate lockdowns. Artificial intelligence, they're talking about transhumanism. They're listening to men like Yuval Noah Harari, an Israeli, a terribly godless man who the world is paying attention to. So these are just some things. I think, again, control is the key word. That's what they're planning, on controlling society as we know it through all sorts of gimmicks and schemes, but in 15-minute cities. You take over.
Yeah. One of the agenda items is the 15-minute city. You can find that on their website. And what they want to establish is that instead of you driving all over the place, driving to work, driving to school, or wherever you're going to drive, they want you confined to a 15-minute area from the place where you live. And that radius of 15 minutes is your boundary. It's as far as you can go. And they want you to work, stay, play, all in this 15-minute city that they're creating. And again, this is for more control. It's for saving the planet. So it's really climate lockdowns. And you're saying, well, when are they going to implement it? Well, they're already testing it in Europe now. So I spoke to one of my friends in Europe that's in Oxfordshire, and they basically created a 15-minute city there, proposed it to the people, and here's the shocker. The people actually wanted it. That's what he told me. It wasn't even forced on them. They wanted it. So here's what the stipulations are. He can leave his home 100 times a year, okay, to go outside of this barrier. If you go outside more than 100, he gets fined 100 pounds or equivalently $100, and you're fined. So basically that ends up being you can leave this 15-minute city twice a week, and that's it. And that's your whole allotment. But what is this for? It's for control. So the climate lockdowns are the next in the stages of lockdowns. They learned so much from the Charlie Oscar Victor Igloo Delta 19er lockdowns that now they're going to implement it with we're going to save the planet. They're serious, guys. This is not conspiracy theory. It's on their website, and they're trying it right now. So more craziness.
130 nations represented, 52 heads of nations, 52. This entire week they're meeting. All sorts of corporate CEOs, dozens and dozens of them. Of course, all flying in on private jets. Of course, all having the finest food. They want us to eat bugs. They're serious.
They too.
They want us to eat bugs. That is no joke.
And these people that want to put all this in place so that way you can save the planet because your carbon footprint is just too much for the world to survive. No, they can pay the $100 and break it as much as they want. I mean, you and I would be limited by our finances, right? But do you think Bill Gates can go get a $100 fine every day and not have a problem? Do you think he can probably afford that? So you got to understand that's really significant. Another one of the elements that the very first day they were emphasizing is living in harmony with the environment. And boy, that sounds really great. And there was a young lady that asked this question. She said, isn't it impossible to live in harmony with the environment? I mean, isn't the environment trying to kill us? And they totally shut her out. And I'm sure it's been edited out because the reality is, let's take away all of the wonderful technologies you have, including your sleeping bag, including the natural gas that we have heating my house right now, and let's just go out here and let's just see what it's like to live out here in the little woodlot behind the church. Friends, every American needs to go on a little backpacking trip, because if you take your children and your grandchildren on a backpacking trip and you say, we're going to live off the land, we're going to live in harmony for 3 days, trust me, they will come back and not believe any of this baloney that's being articulated by people who are flying around in Lear jets.